So a lot of emerging empires, Persia seems to be one of those, maybe even the Congo as well. And obviously, France continuing to assert their dominance. There's a race for the final Polish city. We'll see if France or Russia can take it. We actually saw a pretty big moment of hilarity in the last video when Catherine decided to put her pikemen to be the only melee unit to attack Konya. Now, of course, she could swap places. I think there's still 2 turns. I think Konya will probably survive for about 2 turns, not much longer than that. Oh, Korea decided to peace out with Vietnam. I wonder. Oh, they were actually trying to siege Saigon again. So I don't think Vietnam's going to stay around for much longer. I actually think Siam is going to be the one to take over the final Vietnamese city. But we'll see. Anyways, let's see what France does. Let's see how much damage Konya takes. There's not too many more units nearby. Yeah, I didn't think there was going to be that much damage done. So Russia has a chance. Russia has, a pretty big air force. I think actually bigger than the French air force. I don't think the French have built an air force, surprisingly, which is very shocking. That could be a big, mishap that Napoleon could be getting himself into. Let's see if he swaps places. Usually, I don't think he will. I don't know if I see AI swap places. I've just never really noticed it. Not in a scenario like this. Hey, there you go. Now you got a Cossack. You got a Cossack and a... Oh my goodness. Oh, things just got so real right now. Holy crap. That is messed up. Okay, a few things just happened right now. First of all, my theory of open borders and AIs not declaring when they have open borders just completely slapped me in the face. Is Korea ready? They are totally ready because Tonga is like undefended. All these cities are just practically undefended. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We are seeing the Napoleon attack of Russia. Russia desperately needs the winter to come. Too soon? Too soon? Really, that's the only thing that's going to stop them, right? You get one of those Russian winters, you're going to desperately need it now. Napoleon's coming after you, Catherine. You need one. You need a. Too bad there's not winters in Civ 5, right? Cristo Redentor has been built by Napoleon. Wow. Well, there you go. Is he even going to focus at all on Konya, or is Poland going to be ignored for the most part here? I'm in shock. I'm in shock and awe. I can't believe this happened. Really was not expecting this. Also, I did notice that Cuba had taken back their city. That's going to happen quite a bit, just like Cordoba. These 2 cities are going to be exchanging hands quite a bit. Let's go and check on Carthage. Persia's attempting their best to land artillery units to maybe attack the Carthaginian capital. I don't think the Congo are going to have much success at all here. I'm surprised. France could still get involved here. They could still be involved in all these 3 wars and be fine. Another ideology has been chosen. Ethiopia order. I have not seen one autocracy declaration of ideology. I've not seen a Civ declare their ideology autocracy ever since the world ideology became autocracy. It's very strange. I know that I made that comment that I guess the AI doesn't really care what the world ideology is, but you think they would, and it's just strange that we haven't seen anybody, get into the autocracy ideology after that proposal was proposed, I guess. Anyways, so this is going to be interesting. I don't necessarily think... Okay, so Russia's done. What does this mean for Russia? What does this mean for the rest of the world? If we see the fall of Russia, as well as the really big rise of Korea, ultimately, this is going to lead us to a really strong Korea, I think. There's still several more units. They could breeze by 5, 6, maybe 7 Russian cities, honestly. It's actually France that got the short end of the stick here. They're going to be practically allowing the Koreans to get even stronger to the east. they will have to deal with the blunt force of the Russian military because the Russian military had already located towards the Polish front. So it's the Russians that are going to have to grind away and do most of the work, while the Koreans take most of the cities for themselves. They don't have to fight any units. They might not have to fight. Let's see what Russia does. How many are they going to actually move to the east? I also want to keep in mind what happens over here in the west. Yeah, nothing. They're bringing all the reinforcements to fight the French, while the Koreans are going to just greatly benefit this. I don't know if this was the best idea. I understand that Napoleon probably wanted a little bit of help from the Koreans, but that's going to be an issue. Bam, the first Korean city has fallen, or the first Russian city has fallen to the Koreans. And Mumbai, I count four, maybe even 5 cities if they go up towards Novgorod that are completely undefended. Because France will, don't get me wrong, they'll destroy, I think, all of the Russian military units. But by the time they do that, how many cities will still be left? They'll take over, the Polish city that Russia just took over. St. Petersburg's going to be difficult, though. Ethiopia and Egypt have declared their, third war. Actually, that was Ramses declaring war on Ethiopia. Wow, that'd be a crazy turn of events if Egypt is the one to destroy Ethiopia. I feel like it's been the other way around for a long time. There have been 3 civs off the Horn of Africa that have been really weak. Egypt, Ethiopia, and Arabia. I would have never guessed that Egypt, a nation that lost their capital really early, would have ended up being the most successful. It's very shocking. Yeah, Carthage is not going to fall. Persia might try. Persia shouldn't try. It's going to be a disaster if they try. Anyways, let's watch the French. I cannot believe this. I am in complete shock. Oh, man. Here's the thing, though. Poland is still safe. They are still absolutely safe. Let's keep in mind. So now the Russians go. Now, what do the Russians do? I want to watch both sides of the screen here. The east and the west. I want to watch for reinforcements arriving in the east. I want to see what the French do to push back the Russians do to push back the French. Still no reinforcements. There's a great war infantry now, though. And here comes Korea. And Korea's bringing even more forces. They're bringing in an air force. All of their land units are coming too. But here's the thing. Siam doesn't have the military, though. They don't have the army. We could see Siam go to war with Korea. How crazy of a turn of events would that be? Cordoba has once again fallen to the UK. Here's the thing. That France still is really, really powerful. Like I said, they can get involved in 2-3 more wars and still be fine. They could get themselves involved into a Mediterranean war, and they'd be okay. Which, again, would only allow for the Koreans to get even more powerful. This is going to be really, really interesting. It's really started to hit me now. Wow, are the Ashanti and the Congo still at war? Because Casablanca is going to fall to the Ashanti, it looks like. Yeah, it really looks like that. All right, see what the French do. The French almost seem to be... I don't know, man. Now I'm really starting to kind of change my opinion. First of all, let's get this straight. I had no idea that Napoleon would call in Korea. Why would France call in Korea? I mean, it's smart. Don't get me wrong. It would have been smart, but in this scenario, it was such a bad idea. It turned out to be a really bad idea. The Russians are actually pushing forward, which usually ends up being a bad thing. When a nation like this, that looks like they're about to crumble, starts to make their own offensive moves, that's usually bad. They are trying their best. Russia's trying their best to reinforce, but it's not going to be enough. So this city will fall. Mumbai will probably fall the turn after. Russia's peaced out with Poland. So maybe Poland will be safe for now. Because now France is completely focused on Catherine. Let's see what the Congo do. Hey, Persia is actually having some luck here. Maybe this will fall. And bam, Casablanca has exchanged hands into the Ashanti, separating the new Congo cities that they've taken away from Carthage. Man, if Persia, though, takes over the Carthaginian capital, I'm going to absolutely love these Persian borders. It's a really, really cool Persian borders. I think that's so awesome. Egypt and Persia, they're not at war, are they? Egypt and Persia? No, I don't think so. A bunch of people have peaced out with Siam. I'm wondering if they peaced out for any cities. Oh, Australia and Siam peaced out. I completely forgot about that war. Yeah, that was a very dumb move for Siam to try to go after Australia. They must have not realized the power, their power behind the fog of war, I'm guessing. Seattle, Washington still remains. America still is a part of the campaign, technically. So Zulu finally peaced out with Spain. It's turn 394. Now what happens? What do the French do? French are still unable to take this city, I believe. The French have the reinforcements, but they're not bringing in reinforcements. That's the question mark that I'm like, why? Well, not why. I mean, the AI does dumb things like that all the time, but I'm saying that it's not, I guess it's not so much a question mark. It's more, this is really going to benefit the Koreans. So the Russians are going to process their turn first. Then it's Korea. Where is Russia getting these units from? Where have they been? I think they had like units stranded north of Siam, and now they're just starting to use them. Bam! Persia took over the Carthage capital. They'll probably hold on to it because Carthage has pretty much ran out of units. Those are some really cool borders. The Persian borders are really awesome. That's so cool. And bam, Mumbai will fall next turn. And we have Ethiopia versus Poland. What ideology is this? Denmark. There you go, Denmark. Show them how to choose an ideology after the world ideology has already been chosen. Oh my goodness. It doesn't look like Korea really has any, like, it doesn't even look like they're going to stop anytime soon. They look like they can just keep going and going and going. They still don't really look that strong and like to the eye test. Like you go over the French Empire and you just see units everywhere. Korea, not so much. Everyone's declaring war on Poland, but will the Ottomans declare war on Poland? And will they get open borders through Russia? What if the Ottomans were to declare war on Russia right now? Jeez. I don't think that would really matter, actually. That wouldn't make that much of a difference. They only have one tile to move through, unless, of course, they got open borders through Persia, which is possible. But no, the Ottomans are going to be down in just disappointment. They're going to be known as just disappointment. But not so much for Persia. Love Persia. That is cool. I don't think they're going to be able to make it through the campaign. If they survive, though, if they survive for the next 105 turns, man, that is really awesome for them. They played a really good game, which, like I said in the last video, is all I really wanted to see. I wanted to see Persia. I want to see a strong Middle East power, and we are going to see that. So now what Persia needs to do is they need to annex these cities and start to build a fleet. They absolutely need a fleet in the Mediterranean, or they will lose these cities. They will for sure lose these cities. I don't see Persia lasting 100 turns, now that I think about it. There's no way. There's no way. But it's really cool that they did manage to, in fact, connect to the Suez and have complete control over the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean. They could do all that stuff, whatever they wanted. Bam, Mumbai has fallen, and they're going to begin to attack their next city, their next target. Jeez. Like I said, the Koreans have not really stopped. There's still several units still left behind that they could use. United Kingdom has taken back Cordoba. Is Cuba the same? Yep, for the most part, Cuba is still the same. No big difference here. Like I said, I think Colombia is still at war with both Cuba and Mexico, which is crazy. They've stayed at war for that long. I don't know. I thought they've been at war for a long time. How's Siam doing? I wonder what Siam is thinking. There's a lot of weak nations going on all over the place. There's a lot of weaker powers, that could crumble if the right nations were to declare war on them. Just don't choose me. Oh, good. It won't be me. Okay, good. Yeah, so there you go. Bam, could have right-clicked there, but sometimes I like to just, just spam the left mouse button. So where is the Congo army, and why are the Ashanti having success here? The Ashanti could take over this city, which actually for the Ashanti would be really good. They'd have some pretty cool borders. Yeah, I figured that was going to fall, and that was the former Polish city. That really isn't going to do much damage to the Russians. I didn't even realize the conflict that was taking place in the Baltic Sea. Remember, the Russians had a fleet out here, but obviously the French had a much bigger fleet. They could even send over more units if they wanted to. So what does Persia do? Persia needs to rebuild. Like I said, they really need to rebuild fast. Actually, now that I think about it, the Persian Air Force was probably the one to ultimately have destroyed... What? Wow. Major pushback from Russia. They took 3 cities back in one turn. That won't last. They're going to lose these 2 cities again. And now Korea's going to continue to go forward. Those borders, though, man. Those borders. So this is where a lot of units are probably going to fall. Now, this city will fall, and then there's going to be this big siege of St. Petersburg. I think while the siege of St. Petersburg goes down, that is when I think Korea is going to catch up. And I think Korea, by the end of the siege of St. Petersburg, will be here. There it goes. That's what I figured. I figured, and we needed that. Get rid of Carthage. You know, clean up the borders of Europe a little bit, France. Thank you very much. And they totally could do that because they've got this, you know. But notice how France is digging deeper and deeper into their empire and bringing units from Western Europe to the east. They are digging quite deep into their military. They are losing units. Here's the problem, though. Even if they do take this city over, they're still at war with Poland. They still need to take Konya before they can begin the siege of St. Petersburg, which actually is not as good of a scenario as I originally theorized. It's not as good. It would be better if they pieced out Poland, actually, focused on destroying all these military units. It would be better, for Korea, as I should be specific there. We'll see if Korea gets confused by these 2 cities. This is a very big city. These cities are going to be bigger and bigger, a lot more power now, and it's going to be tougher to take down. Won't be as easy. Let's see what Russia does. We have Siam and Ethiopia. Interesting war. Okay, so Russia seems to almost have ran away a little bit from St. Petersburg. Korea's probably going to focus on some of the reinforcements. Persia and Carthage have pieced out. And Rome will probably be taken about 2 turns, something like that. So probably the cleanest European borders we've ever seen, for the most part, is what we're about to witness. And for the most part. Obviously, Cordoba is never going to stay in the British hands. There's Leeds and Morocco kind of in the borders here, but yeah, that's about it. How close are the Ashanti to being able to take the city over? I feel like they might be close. Oh, but Congo are the Congo are reinforcing. They're probably going to start to rebuild their military units. How's Egypt doing against Ethiopia? It's okay. It's okay. Canada's joined in. Canada's not doing anything, really. Let's see what France does. And then I'll have to end this video right here. Let's see what they do. They'll probably take this over. Oh, nope, they don't have a melee unit nearby. So I think Russia will probably reinforce. Let's go ahead and just check what Russia does. I think the Koreans still have a while before they make, some of their progress in the east. Why do you only have 2 planes though? That's bad. You really shouldn't have only 2 planes. Yes, like I said, Rome will fall next turn. Persia just needs to relax. Oh, geez. Well, I guess they're going to go after the Zulu, and so is Colombia, which actually might lead to an interesting war since Colombia, they do have ties, they do have fronts against the Zulu in Madagascar. So they might send over a fleet, perhaps. And let's just see what Korea does, actually, because I didn't notice. I guess we skipped over what Russia did, but Russia is trying to hold on to this city. They're gonna focus. They're gonna be smart. They're only gonna begin a siege of 1 city. Anyways, guys, I'm about to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.